Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Putty Katia and I'm playing through my Steam library, starting with the worst reviewed games first. Everyone seemed to enjoy my bread crab video, and I'd love to make more things out of bread, but I'm not really sure what to make, so I would love to take suggestions of things to make out of bread. Now remember, bread is something that gets kind of rounder and loses definition as it rises and bakes, so things that would do well with that situation would be the best things to make out of bread. So if you have any ideas, go ahead and leave them down in the comments, and if they're bready sounding, I will try my best and make them. So without further ado, let's get to this week's games. Chauffeur Race Driver. This game was clearly abandoned before it was actually finished. It starts off with this crazy synthesized voice, which I feel like is a placeholder. It's got really terrible grammar and really weird.
Profile section to hard, you can get more fans and XP. Go to chauffeur, choose a car, and let's get start.
So let's get start. You can see all around you there is a bunch of reserved advertisement slots, and I feel like the company tried their best to maybe sell advertisement to companies, failed, and just said, fuck it, release the game. The crowd really creeps me out. They're 2D and everyone looks like they're having a seizure or something. If you win, this happens. That's not my car up there, and everyone's really creepy. As long as you get out in front of everyone, you usually win the race, no problem. But for this one, I had a few difficulties. There's no actual reverse as far as I can tell, but you do have the option to go into the menu and reset your car, which at this point I didn't know about yet, but eventually the synthesized voice pops up and tells me that's what I need to do after I kind of get into a major fender bender here. The voice will tell me you gotta reset your car. So I do that, and this happens. And I reset multiple times, and it just got worse. Observing the weird unfinished parts of this game and the crazy glitches were actually the most entertaining parts. Time of Shadows. Ooh, what's going on with this tongue here? Wow. You got 4 different dudes to choose from. You got a baker, some old dude, some weird gypsy, this guy, and I went with the baker. I selected chaotic evil for her, and I tried my best to really fulfill that lifestyle. She goes around beating people with her pan, and the town folks really don't like that, so I just kind of leave town and start fucking shit up. This is the craziest health bar system I have ever seen. Instead of like having a full red bar that loses health like from the right to the left, you start out with a gray bar and you fill it up with red from right to left. I don't understand, but okay, I do with it what I must. I actually played each character a little bit, but I had a lot of problems because the game kept freaking crashing, which did not make for funness. This is really the furthest I ever got in it, and I'm trying to get over to this green thing on the map, but there's all these frickin' dudes everywhere, and it gets to the point where I just can't do nothing because there's so many dudes everywhere. Maybe I needed to do side quests to level up, but I'm just trying to stick to the main quest line. I feel like I should be able to do that, but so many dudes, I just decide to do a suicide run, and oh my god, there's bears everywhere, and now there's a freaking giant hummingbird, and oh jeez, I don't think I'm gonna make it. There's only one option. Final Slam 2 Gold. Apparently Final Slam one was not final enough, and we gotta do another final slam. The best part about this game was creating my own custom character. They got a lot of stuff to choose from. Kinda have some cringy type things, but I mean, if you select enough cringy things, it's gonna be pretty funny to watch, I guess. They even let you select what you use for your winning move and your taunt and that kind of thing. Not a whole lot of buttons to use, and if you're gonna play this multiplayer, you're both gonna be using the same keyboard, so hope you like going shoulder to shoulder with your fighting games. I of course selected fishnet tights and a bunny tail underpant thing with a headset on, because when I'm fighting I wear that, and I like to listen to my awesome fight mix song selection on my headset, so it only makes sense. My winning move is showing my butt, because that's how we roll. Now in this game, you keep the health from your fight, so I think it's kind of a tournament type thing, and you gotta skip some fights and get your health back. If you don't want to fight, you can just use the simulate, and that kind of lets you have a good idea of how good the AI is by letting them simulate the fight for you. Poor Scott, he does not have a chance. And of course, it is taking frickin' forever. Use your fists, Hoodie, come on. Discovery, Seek and Find Adventure. This is a hidden object game where you're playing like a game show. You have a bunch of contestants to choose from, but there's 6 that are locked. So, sorry if you want to be a hot Asian chick. You gotta be either the old one or someone else. So let's be the hillbilly. You spin the wheel to select how much money you're going to get for finding each thing. You have this super cluttered game thing, and you're finding stuff before the other 2 contestants, I guess. It was never really a challenge to find anything except for at the start, because I wasn't kind of familiar with the objects, but all the objects are repeated on almost every scene, so yeah, there's a bonus game, but I was terrible at the trivia. Round 2, you do a scavenger hunt for some kind of category or thing, in this case fruit, in both of the previous scenes that you played, so very repetitive in that fashion, and you get to play another bonus game. Yay! And finally in the 3rd round you do the scene that you've already done yet again in the same fashion, and then finally you get a new scene where you get to find stuff, and you've won a trip to Spain, but not really. Then you go to the bonus round where you go around American scenes and find a single object in each, and if it's too hard you just pass, and then you find it all. As far as I could tell, there was nothing you could do with the money, so I don't really understand why they had the money. I beat all the different places and went to the championship mode, I guess, but you just kind of go to the same scenes you already did and compete against one guy. Maybe he was a little better, but I still kicked his ass. Mono Minnow. This is a game that's similar to Lemmings with a little bit of Tetris involved. You got these 2 squares in a cloud kissing and popping out babies like crazy. It's super duper slow. You gotta put these shapes in place, and hitting fast forward doesn't really speed them up that much. Because of that, I'm gonna use the video editor to make it go super duper fast. The difficulty levels don't really ramp up very fast, and I will include all of my fails for the first few levels so you can see kinda how hard of a time I had doing all this. This is real tough right here. What? Oh yeah, okay. They got in there. This I actually did have a problem with because I got no spatial skills apparently, but I made it eventually. there's not really any real instructions besides the occasional stuff on the level, like here it says rotate is E and Q, so that's helpful. I had some difficulty on this one, but I got in there eventually. On this level, I did not succeed in getting them all, but I got 2 stars, and that's good enough for me. I guess that guy's dead now. Oh well. So this one took me several attempts, but I figured it out. So it does kind of ramp up difficulty a little slower than I would like to, but I've played many games like this before. This level kind of glitched out and the dudes just walked in place and made the most irritating noise ever. Finally, around level 30, they introduced the little circles in the bottom, but the difficulty level went way down as they were trying to teach me how to use these dang things. So, once again, the game became super easy. So, those games weren't entirely awful. They were interesting to say the least. Next week is actually going to be my 100th game played for this series, and I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I ran into a series of bad games in my list, and there's 2 of them that are really, really bad. There's one that's kind of bad, and then there's another that's mediocre. And the one that's mediocre actually is 2 games combined in one. So I figured I will just play them all for next week's, and probably throw in another game since the one is actually 1 game on Steam, even though it's 2 games, but it's 1 entry on Steam, so we're gonna count it as 1. But yeah, gonna play the 100th game next video, and might actually change the format after that video. So I will see you then, and have fun gaming. Bye!